I'm Craig Longenecker, and welcome back to the Roots Cooking Show. Tonight we're going to be making a green salad, a baked chicken breast with fried onion straws on top. The first thing we're going to do is address the chicken breast. This is locally raised chicken that's corn and soy fed. These are 2 breasts and it's about 1 pound. We're going to stuff it with cucumbers, olives, and Asiago. This is organically grown cucumbers. Fresh Kalamata olives that are actually imported from Greece, and locally produced Asiago cheese that I grated. All of this was done prior to setting up. It was kind of like prep work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bowl and I'm going to combine about half of the organics, half a piece of organic cucumber, about 2/3 of the Asiago cheese. I want to save some of the Asiago cheese to top the chicken breast while I bake it, and some olives. I'm going to save some of those too to top along with the Asiago cheese. And always remember, when we're cooking, remember to wash your hands. I did it off before we started shooting, so you guys can't yell at me. After that is all mixed up, we're going to let that sit. And now we're going to dress the chicken breast. The chicken breast has been sitting in buttermilk. Before I went to work today, I covered it with buttermilk and then put it into the fridge and let it marinate all day. It's going to get the chicken breast really nice and juicy and help tenderize it. So these are 2 breasts that are trimmed and butterflied. You can ask the butchers at Roots to trim your chicken and to butterfly it. I like getting butterflied chicken because cooking it the whole way through, it's very easy. You're never left with pockets of really raw meat or really well done meat. Everything's cooked very evenly. Okay, these gonna open up, and I'm gonna stuff with our stuffing. Just take a nice generous handful and just layer it in there. Just pile it in there, actually. 2 chicken breasts is what I usually do for about 4 people. I bake 2 chicken breasts whole and then cut them in half right before I plate. I don't like cutting them in half before I bake them because I think it loses some of its character. So I keep them whole and then cut it before I plate. This is our stuffed chicken breast. It's stuffed with Asiago cheese, olives, and cucumbers. So after they're stuffed, fold over the chicken breasts. We have a lightly greased, oven-safe pan. I like to use foil because it's very easy cleanup. And there is going to be stuffing that falls out. Don't worry about that. Throw it on top. Let it bake in with the chicken. And now some of the Asiago cheese and olives that we saved for on top. What I like about Asiago is that nutty, earthy flavor that it has. Tastes just like Parmesan, but unlike Parmesan, Asiago cheese has a little higher fat content. Not like traditional cheeses, and that fat content allows the Asiago to melt a lot better than, like, say, Parmesan cheese would. And now it's time for the oven. And we're baking the chicken at 350 for 30 minutes. Our second step is making our salad. These are locally raised greens. How, do you ask? You could have locally raised greens in Pennsylvania this late in the winter. Greenhouses. Farmers grow these greens in little flower boxes. And on Mondays, right before Tuesdays, go out there and pick a bunch. Bag it, and this is what we have here. This is a little vinaigrette that we're going to make for the greens. It's balsamic vinegar, olive oil, and lemon juice with a little bit of salt and pepper. So we're just going to pour it over the greens, and we're just going to let that sit. Let those greens really take in all those flavors. And this is what we're going to put our baked chicken on top of. So, toss these. Make sure everything's coated. Our third step is making our fried onion straws. We have about 10 minutes left on the chicken, and this is when you want to start cooking the onion straws. These are onions that have been sitting in buttermilk. Add them to a dredge. This is flour, brown sugar, a little bit of paprika, salt and pepper. Add your onions, and then coat all the onions. Make sure each piece of onion gets flour all in it. We have oil that's heated to about 350. And now we're going to add the onion straws to the hot oil. Be careful because these are going to sizzle and the oil is going to start jumping. So just be careful with your hands. Add about half at first and save the other half. Make sure that you don't overwhelm the oil with all the fried onion straws. The onions that you can buy at Roots are still locally grown. Even though it's the middle of the winter, what farmers do is they harvest them late in the fall and keep them in cold storage during the winter. So this onion was still locally grown and purchased at Roots. It's been 30 minutes and our chicken is done. Look at that. Looks great. Melted cheeses just looks nice and juicy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save these pan drippings and make a little sauce. And now we're going to plate our greens. And what the greens do for this dish is make the dish very inviting. It's very colorful. This is our chicken breast, fresh out of the oven. I'm going to plate it on top of the greens. And if you wanted to do a whole chicken breast per person, that's fine too. What I like doing is, serving wise, just give someone half a breasted chicken. For some that might not be much of a meal. For me, I find it's perfect. And as a topping, put the onion straws. This gives the dish a nice crunch. Kind of acts almost like a crouton in a salad and gives the chicken a nice texture. And when I make this dish, I can never make enough onion straws. People almost enjoy the onion straws more than the actual dish. And this is the piece de resistance. This sauce is the pan drippings that I took off of the baking sheet. Added just a little bit of Dijon mustard, and it really brings the whole dish together. I'm Craig Longnecker. This has been the Roots Cooking Show. I wanted to thank you very much for joining us. Come check us out every Tuesday. We'll be there buying our ingredients for next week's episode. Check out our YouTube channel and on Facebook at Roots Country Market.
I was on. You're so weird.